And there we are.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Dar and Andy Show.
We hope everybody's doing great.
Yes, I'm Dar.
I'm Andy.
Yes, and we are here in Playa del Carmen, live streaming to you tonight.
Yes.
It's a little bit different tonight because a few things are different. Number one is there was a time change.
Yes, so.
That just happened.
People were expecting to see us at 6:30 Central. Well, right now it's 5:30 Central.
Yes. But now we're on Eastern Standard Time. You and I are.
Right.
In Playa del Carmen because...
We don't change times.
Yeah.
We don't fall back.
They have a very screwy... Well, they don't have daylight savings time in Quintana Roo, right? In the whole state.
Yeah, no daylight savings time.
So we don't fall forward or spring forward or fall back.
Right. We just kind of stay where we are.
Yes.
So we're either on Central Time or Eastern Time. Right.
And right now we're on Eastern time. So we hope you joined us at the right time wherever you are.
Yeah. So when I scheduled the live stream, it should have respected, whatever time zone I was in.
Right. But remember when I asked you today, what time is it? It's because my Surface was still on the old time.
Oh, really?
My Apple Watch updated its time.
Sure, correctly.
Yes, and it gave me the correct time, but my Surface did not correct. So, things get screwy.
Yeah.
And I guess it's okay as long as it's not for work.
As long as it's not for work.
As long as it's not for work.
Yeah, I mean, my Outlook, because my computer is set to Cancun time.
Yes.
It's set to Chetumal, which is the capital of the state, I think. And anyway.
Is it? Chetumal?
Chetumal.
Okay.
Or is it? It's not Valladolid.
I don't know. I know what the county is, but I don't know what the capital of the state is.
I think it's Chetumal. Let me see what Google says.
Can somebody Google that for us?
What is the capital of Quintana Roo?
Now I'm embarrassed. It would take me forever to learn.
It's Chetumal.
Okay, Chetumal.
Yeah. So it says Chetumal on my, when I set my time zone.
Yes.
So everybody, when they get my invitations for meetings on Outlook, it says, whatever, 9:30 Chetumal time. And they're like,
right. They're like, what the hell?
Andy.
And then they ask you, where do you go on vacation?
It's like, I don't go on
from the tropics.
Yes.
When you go on vacation, where do you go?
More tropics.
Yeah. Or Steelers game.
Or Steelers game.
It's two options right now.
So we are, this is going on the Presently Somewhere page for the first.
That's the second new thing that's happening.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's good. This is the second new thing that's happening with the live stream on this episode.
And the Presently Somewhere page, we linked to them. We shared them on both of our timelines, so hopefully people found them.
On our Facebook timelines. So so here's the deal. We started the concept of, I guess, a brand or a concept or whatever of being presently somewhere.
Yeah.
Back when we left the States and started our nomadic remote working lifestyle.
Yes.
So presently somewhere. And we started an Instagram first for presently somewhere.
Right.
So we do have an Instagram under presently somewhere where we post photos. And we just kind of started with that simply. And we each started our Facebook page in the last year, and then we decided to start a page for presently somewhere where these live streams will go.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just it's like a joint account.
Yeah.
Right? So you have your Andy Miller account, I have my Dar Miller account, and then we have like a presently somewhere account.
Yes, which is all right. And we started a commercial page for it.
We have a commercial?
It's a commercial page, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Business page?
I don't know.
Because they're talking about how we can do ads and stuff like that.
I don't know. I'm only happy that we're able to live stream regularly and say hi to our friends and family and keep everybody updated and hear from everybody. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're going to charge you like $1 million at some point.
You got to join our Patreon account just so you can hear us talk about the Steelers.
But I don't know
March.
because I barely am able to like post stuff on my own Facebook page because I don't know how everything works.
Right.
The other day I tagged people because I wanted to include them in the post, but then after I posted it, it said, oh, you're with these people. And I was like, no, I'm not with them right now. But
You wanted to mention.
yes. So, I'm still learning how to do things. Anyway, if you're watching this, please check out our Presently Somewhere page on Facebook, because that's where we'll be live streaming to Facebook from now on.
Right.
So you'll be...
And eventually to YouTube at the same time once I get my head out of my ass.
Well, that's the next step, is to be able to live stream to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Right?
Yes, because we want
Dual streaming.
Dual streaming. Dual stream.
Because, we have 10 subscribers to our YouTube channel now.
Yes.
So that's growing like gangbusters.
Gangbusters.
But if you're watching this right now and you want to see back episodes, you can see them on YouTube under Presently Somewhere. Mm-hmm. So we have the Instagram, the YouTube, and now the Facebook Presently Somewhere.
Empire. Media empire.
And next thing we need is a t-shirt. I'm going to get a Presently Somewhere t-shirt.
We need logo wear.
So anyway, well, what was the concept behind Presently Somewhere? We just wanted to we started with a blog. That's how it started.
Yeah, we started with the blog.
And I wrote, several blogs under Presently Somewhere. We did a WordPress page.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there. And, I'm like writing. It was very cathartic for like the first months that we were gone, and just talking about the transition and what was going on. And so that's what it started with. That's why we came up with the name Presently Somewhere, was for the blog.
It's for the blog. And well, the blog kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. I think I posted a couple things too, but just generally like, it wasn't really something we were into doing,
It was, I would spend a lot of time like writing a blog about things that were important or whatever, and then I would go back weeks later and I would see like, 2 people read it, and I was like, I didn't feel like I was really sharing or connecting with anybody. So,
like
it did fall by the wayside.
Yeah.
It did fall by the wayside.
This is kind of been a little bit more. It's not easier to do. It's not easier to set up, because you can just sit down and write a blog. But this is easier to do.
Well, I think this is much more personable.
Yeah.
Because I think, I feel like when I wrote blogs, it felt like they could be very contrived.
Yeah.
Because you sit down and you're writing and you're like, well, I don't know how people are going to receive that.
Kind of filtered.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. Sitting down and just talking just seems more real.
Yeah, but it's riskier, because you never know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say something bad.
I
might cuss. Again.
But it does feel more natural, and it just feels like it in a way, like if we were sitting and talking to friends, or sitting around the dinner table with family.
It's a one-sided Zoom conversation.
Kind of. Do you feel like that? Well, we can do Zooms. I don't know.
Well, no, we're going to start like randomly like calling people. Hey, what are you doing now?
Hey, you're on Candid Camera.
You're on Candid Camera, right?
We're videoing this right now. We're gonna put it on our channel.
Yeah, well, I figured it was a way for people to kind of catch up with what we're doing. We've already said that before, but and for some people that's plenty,
Yes.
And we have dozens of views, right?
Yes.
Per episode. So I guess some people catch up with us that way, and we just don't hear from them, or maybe it's just people who are unrelated, wanting to know what. I don't know.
The things are up, especially in Playa del Carmen.
Yeah.
The Caribbean is like a hot topic for travelers, especially right now. People want to know what's going on at
with the
beach.
hurricanes.
Well, Cancun is a huge travel destination, and we're just 50 miles south of Cancun. So it's a big deal. Plus, we spend a lot of time like resort hopping around in the areas.
Yeah.
We kind of have the scoop on what's going on with that.
So, and then, people want to know what's going on with the weather. And, I know my parents have been very concerned about us staying safe and so on. But.
Well, this has been a crazy year, because we're usually here during hurricane season. And there's never been a year like this.
Well, there's never been a hurricane. There's never even been a tropical storm while we were here.
This exactly.
Yeah.
It's like this has been crazy. It is just like week after week after week. It's like either a threat or of a hurricane or a tropical storm happening like back to back.
All the time, yeah.
We had Delta, Zeta. I don't remember the name of the tropical storm that happened before Delta. But do you remember? It was tropical storm, some BS. Yeah. All that happened in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Let's see. Was it Gamma?
That sounds right. Or Gamma turned. I don't know.
Because Gamma then Delta. Because in Greek alphabet it's Gamma then Delta. So I think it was Gamma.
So there was Gamma on like a Friday, and then Delta on Monday.
Yeah, something like that.
And then the next weekend was Zeta, and now we're getting
just a crap ton of rain, and then Eta.
Because Eta is like heading this way.
Yeah, well, it's tearing across Nicaragua right now, and I guess it's going to boomerang up through here. And so
it was supposed to be a Category 5 when it's hitting Central America.
Right, Nicaragua. Right.
That's bad.
That's a world eraser. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were here it landed as a Cat 2.
It landed as a Cat 2, but
Zeta,
it was heading here as a Cat 4.
And it did plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
And it didn't even hit us directly.
I thought it did.
No, it hit north of us.
Oh, Puerto Morelos? Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's why they had so much more damage.
Wow. But yeah, it's Cat 5 is unimaginable.
Especially a direct hit, like it was showing hitting Nicaragua. It was going like straight into land, whereas the ones that have been coming here are barreling up the coastline.
Yeah.
Right? Not coming right into us from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It was kind of barreling up the coastlines, and so like all of the winds and rains and stuff were moving past us. Whereas this one that's going into Nicaragua is going straight inland, going straight to the coastline. It looked like the last time I saw it.
Like a direct hit. It's going to lose a lot of energy once it hits, but it's going to hit. So, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. And then it's supposed to boomerang out and then go back up the coastline and
dump all the rain.
And then, eventually come through here again. But it looked like it was going to take a few days.
We've been getting a lot of rain. And we were at a resort this last weekend and in Puerto Morelos, and the people there said that it's the most rain they've ever seen in their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, no memory.
These are like not young people.
This is not young people. They said it's the most rain they've ever seen that's ever fallen in this area.
Everything was flooded. All the roads were flooded. People leaving the resort took hours to get home into Cancun, which is about 30 miles.
It's supposed to be a 40 minute drive maximum.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was taking them hours to get home with the floods and everything.
Yeah.
So it's just been a pounding here. It's hurricane season.
Yeah.
Man, they're coming, and you just hope that Eta is the last one that's going to come through.
Yeah.
Hurricane season lasts till November 30th, though.
Yeah.
And, it's still a long time away.
Got another battery backup.
Yeah, so that was like a whole thing. You have a freaking guardian angel, even though you don't want to admit it. But every time we lose power and Andy starts thinking, I'm not going to be able to work and I'm not going to be able to have my meetings or whatever, it's like you get power in the nick of time, like every single time. Like last time we had a presentation, and it was like 30 minutes before our presentation. It was like, boom,
power comes back.
Electricity came on. And you had everything, boom, 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 set up presentation time without missing a beat. So
very fortunate.
You do have some kind of guardian angel, but I also know it stresses you out, and that sucks.
It is aging me, Dar. This shit is aging me.
That's why you need more resort vacations. I don't know. No, but you did invest in 2 more gigantic battery backups, right?
Well, just one. So now
you got 2 of those. 2. I thought you got 2 like that.
I just have one of those. I think I might buy another one though.
Yeah.
So I have the one that was kind of not behaving the way I wanted it to, but I have it now set up in a situation where it'll do what it has been doing well. It'll do that for what its purpose is now.
Yeah.
And then that old reliable battery backup, it's now, because now I have the internet and the router on 2 separate battery backups, and then my computer is on another big battery backup. That new white guy is a really big battery backup, so my computer should run for 8 hours or 9
I know
hours.
maintenance or whoever comes into this apartment, they just look around like
fucking
what
Unabomber
kind
lives
of
here, not
mission
Unabomber.
control are you operating
Yeah,
here?
maybe they think I'm Neo, and you're Trinity from the Matrix.
It's just crazy. There's so many like cords and blocks and bricks and like just things blinking, and it's insanity, but you know, whatever works.
Let's see, I have 3 internet connections. I have, I have how many cameras? I don't even know.
We don't even know.
We don't even know. We don't even know.
All we know is we just need to have the things we need when we need them.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're getting really good at this whole like storm prep
Yes.
deal. We have our own water purification system, and we just like make a bunch of ice in advance, and we have a 5-gallon drum of water in the storeroom. And
We need more
like,
backup wine.
Huh?
We need more.
We need more backup.
We need more backup wine. Yeah.
So, 2 storms ago, I think. Well, this is what they do here. Just so you know, they'll stop selling liquor or alcohol. All alcohol. When a storm is coming, everybody's cut off of everything. The grocery store is just shut down the whole alcohol sales.
Yes.
So we had like a few bottles of wine, and one of my girlfriends, I was hearing from her, and she's like, I went to the Shajawi, which is the local grocery store, and she's like, they had already stopped selling wine, so I don't have any wine for like, you know, as long as power is out or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I have extra wine. I'll send you a couple bottles of wine. How am I going to get them to you? She's like, I have a friend out running errands before the storm comes. And I'm like, okay, have her come by and I'll get the
wine to her.
The wine to you. And then Andy comes out and he's like, what happened to the wine? And I was like, I sent some over to Stacy. And he's like, why are you sending away the wine? I was like, well, we have plenty, and she needed it's nice to have a glass of wine when you're sitting at home in a storm. No matter, you don't even know like how long you're gonna be there without power or whatever. It's like,
she could have the wine. I'm just saying that.
It was just funny. You're like, why are you sending away the wine? And then we're like, we definitely need a store of wine, because you could be without. The grocery stores could stop selling wine for days. You don't know.
It could be days.
You just have no idea. They do what they want.
They do what they want. They don't care.
But it's a government thing, right? Like it's the local government says.
The state government. Yeah, they shut down wine, alcohol sales.
Ley seco.
Ley seca.
Ley seca.
Yeah.
I always say seco. Ley seca. It's like no more alcohol sales. Whenever they go into ley seca, you're done.
Yeah. So when election day, ley seca.
But that one you know about. You know when election's coming, you know they're going to shut down alcohol sales. But the thing with the storms, you don't know when that's coming.
Yeah. COVID, ley seca.
In some states, there was.
Yeah.
But it was funny because every time I got an order from the grocery store, I would get an extra bottle of tequila or an extra bottle of rum or an extra bottle of extra wine or whatever, because I was like, you never know when it was going to be ley seca.
You might have to share it with somebody.
Yes.
Turns out.
So, I mean.
It's neighborly.
It's neighborly.
Yeah, it's neighborly.
So the woman that came over and picked up the wine, she had gone and picked up a bunch of books. And I was like, yeah, we don't have any books. We just have wine.
I thought you gave her the book.
I had one book.
Yeah, the Fahrenheit 451.
I had the Fahrenheit 451, and I did send that along in the care package. But
yeah, that's good.
I know. I think she gave it to her daughter.
Her daughter.
Who's 13.
Yeah.
And I know she's not going to read it because there's no romance in there.
There's no romance.
In fact, it's very anti-romance. So I was like...
You're like, boring.
I was like, she's not going to read that.
Oh, man. I don't know.
That's what she asks about everything. She's like, is there romance in there?
Like, no, sorry.
She needs to watch Riverdale has like good romance and
Is it good though? It's good enough. It's like it's for teens.
it's yeah. Or us. We've been watching it.
Yeah, but the romance part is, I mean, it's so ham-fisted and.
You have a love-hate relationship with the Riverdale.
I do, and those characters don't have any chemistry, or maybe I just don't think anybody can have chemistry with that Archie guy. I think that's what it is. He just seems like such a doofus.
I feel like you think that in real life the Archie character, the guy that plays Archie is gay, so it's hard to like
see him with a woman.
See him like, romantic.
So he's starting a rumor that actor is gay. Is that what you're saying? 'Cause I'm down.
No.
I'm all for that shit. I think that's great. I think that's a really good thing.
I don't even know his name. I'm not trying to disparage him or anything. It's just difficult when you're not lost in the acting of the part of it. You know what I mean? You're just looking at this guy and it's like, it's this guy playing this role and he's like,
not
he's got
selling
the coyote arm.
The coyote arm.
He wakes up with a girl in the bed and he looks very uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. And then the girl's got that lazy eye, and you're like, oh man, she is just not hot. Not hot.
God, don't even go there.
Veronica.
But we just keep watching it because why? We gotta finish. We started it.
Well, because that redheaded girl's in it.
You like the redheaded girl.
Yeah, she's hot, and I like the Betty character.
Yeah.
Yeah, Betty's cute. She looks like Starbuck.
She looks like Starbuck from
Katie Sackhoff, right?
Yeah, from Battlestar Galactica. She looks
like
she looks like Katie did back in the day.
Yeah, and I like the plot. I think the plot's pretty good. It's like legit. You got this small town that's has a series of murders, and the town has like this big division, and everybody's kind of pointing fingers at each other, and it might be Betty who's doing it, and so
that's been the best part.
Yeah.
Is finding out like the Miss Goody Two Shoes might be
the murderer,
might be the bad guy,
because she's the only person who talks to this person.
I like the idea that it's like based off of a comic book that you never would think would have like a sinister kind of side going on about it.
Yeah.
But there you have it. It's Riverdale.
And before anybody says something, yes, we are like 3 seasons behind.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, they're like on season 5.
Okay. Well, we're on season 3. Mm-hmm. But whatever. It's something. It's something to watch on weekdays before you go to bed, right? It's like a.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I think there was like a Sunday night. I was like, let's watch some Riverdale. And you're like, can we just save that for the weekdays?
Do I sound like that? I don't sound like that.
You're like,
hey.
Oh my God.
Can you step right off of that? Hold on.
Right. I'm going to need you to back way up off of that. Riverdale's
a weekend. It's a weekday jam. Capiche?
So, no, you don't sound like that either. And I've never heard you say capiche, except for when you're making fun of something. So, anyway, enough of Riverdale. We're going to keep watching it until we're all caught up. And we're going to hate on it every episode.
Publicly.
Yes.
Right.
And privately.
We're not going to hate on?
Steelers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, currently 7-0. Only undefeated team in the NFL.
Can you believe it?
Coming off of a glorious on-the-road victory against the hated vermin that are the Ravens.
I wouldn't say it was glorious. It was a nail biter.
A nail biter.
It was like this. And it was down to the very last throw when the Ravens had the ball. And they were up by 3 points. And they were.
No, we were leading. But if they scored that touchdown,
we were up by 3 points. You're right.
Yeah, 4. We were up by 4. But if the Ravens had scored, that game would have been over and we would have lost.
Yes, because it was seconds left.
Yes.
In the game, and Jackson, their quarterback, threw the ball to the receiver,
who was in the end zone.
In the end zone. So all he had to do was catch the ball, and we would have lost. And Minka just gave him the slap down.
Yeah, he was like sideways, looked like Superman. and
He
smacked
did.
that ball down. He almost caught it.
And I'll just say that he didn't need to catch it,
No.
but I'll just say that the Steelers defense won that game.
Yeah.
Spillane caught, did a, what do they call it?
Pick six.
Pick six?
Pick six. Spillane, like it was the second throw of the game.
Yes.
Pick six. Ran it all the way back for a TD.
Yes.
So
And so put points on the board first.
Yeah.
And
Had
then-
11 tackles.
And then, yeah.
Recovered a fumble and had a pick six. What a game.
It was very exciting. It
Yes.
was intense, though.
And yeah, and what's his name? Well, and also on the offense, Juju had a great day.
Yes. Well, Juju ran a lot of yards or got the ball down the field for many
Significantly,
yards.
yeah, on the second half,
He just didn't, get it across the line because that's the way they play the game. But he did move that ball a lot.
Yeah.
So good for Juju. And that was his best showing, I think, so far this year, maybe. Even though he still didn't make any touchdowns.
He was targeted more. I think that was just that was just the defense that they were playing, right? They needed Juju's side. He's almost like a tight end, and he can go and just sort of barrel through. And that's what you saw him doing, was just really getting physical and moving the ball forward, rather than doing some real pretty run out where he catches the ball.
That's exciting.
Oh yeah, that's great.
7-0.
Yeah. Go Steelers.
I was looking up scores because I was just wondering, what's the best, scores in a season? And there are some seasons that teams had 15 and 15 and 0 and 14 and 0 and
the Dolphins, right, or the last most recent team that won all their games plus the Super Bowl.
Can you imagine? I mean, I'm not even going to dream about that, but I just.
Well, the Steelers have never had this record, so there's that.
Yeah.
This is the best record the Steelers have ever had, or tied for their best record.
Oh, this guy shut me down at the resort when we were talking. We were talking about the Steelers game coming up, and I said, oh, the Steelers are 6-0, and the last time they were 6-0, they went to the Super Bowl. And then he turns around and he goes, yeah, and in that Super Bowl, the Packers shut them down and won that Super Bowl and beat them. And I was like, oh.
That's the season they lost to the Packers.
They lost to the Packers, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that tidbit of information. I was like, I will remember that now.
Yeah. That's okay.
He put the shutdown on me.
It's all right. Made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, you get to go to the dance. That's big enough.
You get to go to the dance, yeah, but you don't get the ring.
Yeah, you don't get the ring. You get the participation.
You don't get the
ring.
bragging rights.
Yeah.
Well, Ben says that's why he came back to the game this year in the shape that he did, is that he was ready to get the Super Bowl ring for
the city of Pittsburgh. It's like, come on. Gee, thanks, Ben. I'm glad to know that you decided to put in the extra effort.
But you know what? Did you see on the sideline they were futzing with his elbow?
Hey, but they weren't really futzing with it.
They were touching it.
They were touching
They
it.
were looking at it. I did not like that.
He was 100% fine.
We do not need Ben pussing out right now.
Well, I mean, getting re-injured, right? Especially,
He shouldn't be re-injured. That should be his good arm.
yeah, it should be his good arm. That's a very good way to put it, because it's got all new connections in there. So,
I don't know why he doesn't wear something that protects it.
well, he's only allowed to wear so much. Besides, he needs to use it.
Well, anyway, I didn't like that. And then Hayward went down.
Yeah.
They had to take him out, but he said he wasn't hurt that bad.
It wasn't bad, but he's still questionable for Sunday.
You know, the best thing about the Steelers is that they went through a lot of hard knocks last year, with Ben being out a whole season, having to get rid of great players because they were,
Locker room poison.
They were jerks. They weren't good for the team.
Well, I mean, Antonio Brown was kind of locker room poison. Bell wanted to make a certain amount of money. He thought he deserved to be paid, top of the league, and Pittsburgh didn't want to go there, and so, he was starting to do things like miss practice.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay,
Just be
dude.
obstinate.
Yeah, it's like, okay, dude.
Well, Brown is over at not the Patriots, at the Buccaneers now.
Buccaneers, yeah.
Playing with Tom Brady, living with Tom Brady.
Living in his house.
Living in his house.
Living in Tom Brady's house.
We're like, what?
I mean, he and Tom and Gronk, they all sit in the hot tub sometimes. have some and bro out.
Have Giselle and her girlfriends come over.
Yeah, bro out. Can you imagine that scene?
I don't know. It's just funny. So they've been trying to get together. They tried to get Brown over at the Patriots when Tom was over there.
Yeah, and they went and stayed in at their house again.
Yeah. So now they're all at the Buccaneers camp.
They're all at the Brady's.
You will see the Brady bunch.
Yeah, they're all at the Brady's, and they're doing. Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers are doing good.
Doing very well. Yeah, they're doing very well.
The Patriots, not so much.
Patriots, not so much. This year, I'm sure they'll come back next year. They just need to Belichick just needs to know what to do with not Tom Brady. You know, that's all he needs to do. And Cam Newton hasn't been playing well, so because he got the COVID.
He got the COVID.
Yeah.
And so did that jerk that plays for the Ravens played against us all day on Sunday, and then Monday morning they wake up and they're like, oh, by the way, this cornerback.
And he was feeling sick.
Well, he sat out practice on Wednesday.
Yeah, because he was sick.
Because he had illness, and they let him play on Sunday. Yeah. And then he woke up Monday with COVID and exposed our entire offense.
Yep.
To COVID-19. I'm just like, not cool, bro.
Not cool, bro. I hope everybody's okay.
I hope everybody's okay, too.
And I hope
we're okay.
Oh, yeah.
We're okay.
Yeah. I think we already had it.
I feel strong. You look
strong. You went and swam, I don't even know how many miles this morning in the pool.
Miles and miles and miles.
I just made sure my coffee stayed warm.
Well, I can't because it's storming every morning. It's like I can't get to swim practice. So we have a nice pool. So when there's a break in the rain, I just go get in and do my drills.
Yeah. I saw you. You had your flip. You had your fins, and you had your hand paddles, and
yes.
Then you went with your kickboard.
Yes.
Yeah. So using your things.
Yes.
Very cool.
I have a lot of training tools.
Yes. Did you use your snorkel? If you did, I didn't see that.
I did use my snorkel yesterday when I swam.
Very nice.
Because I was practicing my dolphin kicks.
Very nice.
I know. I'm just into it. I can't help myself.
That's great. That's great.
It's addictive. It's an addictive sport. And I like it because you don't have to depend on a whole team.
Yeah. Jerks.
No, but it can be a team sport, but it's also like a solo sport, right? Mm-hmm. So I can go and practice drills and swim and whatever by myself, you know, or you can go with a group, like open water swimming. You know, we usually have 2 or 3, 4 people that go.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's what I like about swimming. It's it's flexible.
Yeah.
It's not like soccer where you can barely play by yourself.
Hardly at all.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like swimming is very flexible in that regard. And also, like with the triathlons.
Baseball's a bitch, too, by the way.
Volleyball.
Football.
But, I used to play, when I was a kid, I played tennis by myself for hours and hours and hours because I'd take my tennis racket and my balls and I'd just hit them against the side of the wall on the property. And just for hours, I could do that just to entertain myself if I had to play by myself.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. So I guess I'm okay with the solo sport.
You didn't have a Nintendo, did you?
No, but I'm old, dude. So Pong was the first, like this kid down the street when I must have been like 12 when Pong came out.
Okay.
And a kid down the street got the machine, and my mom let me go down there and play it. And Pong was the first video game I ever played.
And the best.
It was not the best. What was it? Galaxia?
Galaga or Galaxian?
Galaga, and then Asteroids. Asteroids was my game.
Right.
That was like, I was high score Asteroids.
Nice.
But then I grew out of the whole game thing, and then I missed the whole Pac-Man era and all of that.
You never caught Pac-Man fever?
No.
It drove me crazy.
That's a fun nickname for the COVID.
Pac-Man fever. I wanted to call it Trump fever.
Aww. Oh, Was that a segue lead in?
Topical.
Like, oh
Topical.
my God. Hell.
So yes, today is November 3rd.
Cheese and peaks.
Election day.
Thank God today finally got here.
Yeah. So this is what's going to happen. Everybody's going out. No, most people already voted because they voted absentee or they voted by mail, right? Or they turned in or they did early voting. None of that shit gets counted right away. All the stuff that gets counted is the stuff that is what happens at the polls today is what gets counted right away. Well, all the folks, all my fellow citizens who are, for whatever reason deciding that they want to vote for Donald Trump, that they turn out on election day, whereas in most counties, whereas most of the people who are voting for the Democratic candidate already voted. So what's going to happen is that right after, whatever, midnight tonight, they're going to say, wow, looks like Trump's got the majority of the popular vote. But it's not going to be
final.
It's not going to be final because all the mail-in, absentee, and early voting totals will come in, in the coming weeks. It's going to be a couple weeks. And after about 1 week, we'll be able to tell really who won.
Well, I don't think the U.S. Postal Service is that slow. I've mailed things across the United States several times, and it shouldn't take more than 4 days for mail to get anywhere in the United States.
It's not the Postal Service. It's the county's ability to count votes.
Okay.
Yeah,
then that would make sense.
Yeah, they're not set up to count thousands and thousands and thousands of votes.
Mail-in votes.
Mail-in votes, right? So they're set up to count.
It's such a different election year because I remember last election, you and I were still in San Antonio. We stayed up and we were watching the results as they were coming in.
Yeah.
Then I finally fell asleep at some point in the night, and then when
we
I
voted
woke
early too.
The next morning,
yeah.
You and I did. We did early voting. But when I woke up the next morning, I said, "What happened?" And you said, "You don't want to know." And I was like, "Oh my God, Trump won!" But it's just amazing that you can find out so quickly, what the results are. And this year is going to be completely different. But that's what we're used to in our adult life. Yeah, in our experience. You're used to knowing, by the next morning, what the results are going to be.
Right, because the number of mail-in votes, absentee ballots, or even early
were minimal.
I think maybe they do count the early voting right away too.
Oh yeah, those start getting counted as soon as they start coming in.
Right, they just aren't allowed to publish
what the results are.
I'm not sure.
But then I started thinking, well, it used to be more like this because come on, when they used to have elections, what did they come in by? Pony Express or whatever. How did they get? How was it before the whole electronic systems came about? How did they collect and count ballots?
Well, they did it on a county by county basis, right? And then the county employer informed the state, right? And then so the state said, okay, well, the county would say, okay, these are the people who won at the county level, right? And they all get in place. And then they send the results to the state. Now the state, at the state house, and they'd have their vote count, and they take it, the county electoral official, who's like a sworn whatever state official, has to go and take the results to the state, and they'd write them in. They'd write from El Paso all the way to Austin, and they would say, okay, they voted for this person for state representative, this person for whatever, and you two assholes who are members of our electoral college, this is what they said you need to go and do in Washington. And
that's where the rub is.
Yes.
Because we don't know what the electoral college is going to will end up doing, just
Correct.
like in
those individuals theoretically could vote against the will of their state.
Yes.
But they're not supposed to.
What?
They're not supposed to. They're not supposed to.
There is no but.
Yeah.
They can do what they want, and that's how the last election went.
Yeah.
You know
who's a member of electoral college this year?
Who?
Hillary Clinton.
Well, good.
she's representing New York.
She keeps people on the straight and narrow.
Somebody's got him. So.
So we'll see. We'll see how it all goes down.
Yeah.
Is there a deadline for when the electoral college has to complete their participation?
Now I sound like a bad American because I do not know. Yes, they have to go and report to Washington
by some time.
At some point. Well, certainly before inauguration, right? Which is
Oh, well, that's in
January
January.
6th,
Yeah.
But
So,
I mean, we got tied up with all that Al Gore stuff until about then.
till right at the end.
Yeah, right at the end.
But he also won the popular vote.
He won the popular vote.
He also won the popular vote.
And then the only way that the reason that he did not become president was because of Florida, right? And the hanging chads, and then
Dude.
everybody who was in the Florida government were basically buddies of Bush.
Dude, yeah, or relatives or whatever.
Relatives.
Wasn't Jeb governor back then?
Jeb was.
It's like, I don't know how many. I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything inflammatory at this point, but good luck, America.
Good luck, America.
Whatever happens.
I just want
the votes have been cast, and I'm sure whatever happens is going to be great, and you're all going to be fine for the next 4 years, no matter what.
I hope so.
I don't think anything is going to change much either way, honestly.
I certainly hope not, because things are pretty bad now. And I hope things get a lot better.
I hope so.
There's too much divisiveness in the country.
There is too much divisiveness, but I don't know if a president can make that better.
Well, they can opt not to make it worse, and I think
they can opt not to make it worse. But man, that pot is stirred right now.
Yeah, and then the thing that I really, really, really despise about the current president, and I've told you about this, is the threat that he poses to national security.
Yes.
And
I mean, bank accounts in China, owing money to Russia. It's like, he's
not listening to his intelligence officers. He doesn't listen to the intelligence officers. I mean, because they don't agree with him. And he has a real problem with people who he thinks are smarter than him. That's not the sign of a good leader. It's like a good leader should surround himself with people who are smarter than him. Yet he has a real fear of these folks, because he thinks that they're trying to give him the high hat. And you're like, dude, it's like
every decision is bad.
This is a fucking problem. I mean, we have the smartest, most capable, scientists working on our behalf, intelligence officials working on our behalf, diplomats, businessmen, business people, and political strategists and all this other stuff, and you can just name all these eminences, economists, and he thinks that all of them are fake news. Mm-hmm. He wants to discredit all of them just because he feels intimidated. Mm-hmm. He's a very, very small man in that regard, and it's to the detriment of the nation. And I beg anybody to try to argue that with me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the thing is, granted, he is insanely entertaining. Mm-hmm. He is insanely entertaining. And I just ask that, friends of mine who are supporters of the current president, ask yourself if what you really value about him is this entertainment value. Mm-hmm. And if that is the case, then you should question your allegiance to him. And I said, I've told this to people before, and it's like, you can vote for all the Republicans you want, but really think hard about whether or not you cast a vote for that guy for president. I'm not saying you have to vote for Biden. I'm not saying you have to vote for the Green Party candidate or what. You should really wonder if you're making the right choice if you vote for Trump for president. I mean, it's done now.
It's too late.
It's done now, but it's just, I don't know. It's
either he's going to be president for 4 more years or he's not.
And he's probably going to be president for 4 more years.
I have a feeling he'll win again.
I think he's going to win again because I think that he's going to steal the election. I think it's statistically impossible, right, for him to win. It's statistically impossible for him to win. Not impossible, extremely improbable for him to win. Every single way that you look at it, slice it, dice it, every single poll that's occurred, and it says that that Biden is head and shoulders above him. There's no way that Biden should lose this thing. Not impossible, extremely improbable. But I think that he's going to steal the president. He's going to steal the election. And that makes me really, really sad. So because he'll just say it's all fake news. You know, he's going to line up lawyers. He's going to tie the whole thing up in lawsuits, you know, and there's going to be enough soulless bastards who will be willing to do his bidding, you know, and I just find it terribly upsetting, but what are you gonna do? I just live here in paradise, you know, until he makes it impossible for me.
I don't know what you're going to do, because if he does win again for 4 more years, then he's got 4 more years to figure out how he can extend his reign.
His reign, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean,
you know, I'm just thinking of all the people who are, you know, who were just respected government officials who've just lost their jobs, you know, and then in the meantime, he packs the White House with all these folks who have failed at their jobs. Some of them are now in jail. You know, it's like, dude, it's a kleptocracy that he's trying to run, and that's not the America that I want to return to, you know, someday. It's just, you know, it's horrible. It's really, really horrible. You reap what you sow, I guess. You know, it's like if you decide that you want to be entertained rather than led, enjoy it. Yeah, sorry.
I just think that if, you know, he is reelected, then that's what the American people deserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're saying that he's going to steal the election, then that's not what the American people deserve.
No, of course not. But he's going to steal the election. He's a traitor. You know, he has knowingly turned his back on the fact that his government, you know, that his government officials have clearly told him that Russia's interfered with the election. He openly went and tried to get a foreign government to intercede on his behalf, you know, in American political affairs. You know, and then just the fact that he's, you know, disgraced, you know, people in uniform who've chosen to serve their country, you know, when he, you know, didn't, and, you know, and dodged the draft. Dodged the man who says that he's in the best shape of the world, dodged the draft. I mean, he is an utter slimeball. He is an utter slimeball. And they say, well, you know, he's doing good for the company. It's like, the country. It's like, we are being led by an utter slimeball. That's not good for the country. I don't care what the stock market is doing. You know, if you're going to use that one solitary measure as to whether or not the country is succeeding, is then you don't know what America is. You know, you don't know what America is, and you should really question your beliefs. So, or who's telling you what to believe. But anyway.
I know you're feeling very deeply about it, especially today on election day.
Yes, yeah.
Well, also you've been reading that book. What's the name of the book that you've been following about the intelligence personnel that are speaking out against?
Oh no, that was just it was an interview with. It
was a podcast.
It was an interview with these former intelligence agents gave with the not agents. Leaders of the intelligence organizations, you know, gave to the Lincoln Project, you know, and obviously the Lincoln Project has an agenda. I get it, you know, and that is to ensure it's a bipartisan organization whose sole purpose is to ensure that Donald Trump does not get reelected because they think that he's bad for the country. You know, they don't have lightweights who are working with this group. These are real. Heavy hitting Republicans, you know. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. So we're going to Dallas.
Just breaking my heart. Breaking my heart right now.
Why? No, it's okay. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. So.
It's all gonna be fine.
It's all gonna be fine. So elections will be over. We're gonna go to Dallas. Right?
Yes.
We're going to go see our beloved Steelers.
We'll be in Dallas next Friday.
Yeah, the Steelers have a bye week in Dallas.
That's a joke, folks, for people that don't know what a bye week is.
They'll be spending a bye week in AT&T Stadium. And
Hopefully kicking some cowboy ass, we're hoping.
I mean, it's not really the Cowboys, right? It's what's left of them. Those poor guys.
It's the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It is America's team.
It's America's team. It's what's left of America's team. I mean, they still have Ezekiel Elliott, and he's a definite threat. It's just whether or not they're going to be able to piece together any kind of an offensive line to get him through remains to be seen. And besides, we have the number one defense against the run in the league.
I think we should play our third string quarterback against the Cowboys.
That would be Josh Dobbs.
I know, he's great.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, he's great.
He's great. They should let him play.
They should let.
Come on, Dobbs.
Spaceman.
But there are some other things going on in Dallas that's going to be nice. We're going to be able to get a flu shot.
Flu shot.
We're going to go to Walgreens to get a flu shot because we cannot get flu shots here.
No.
It sucks. And we're getting so much Amazon. A lot of Amazon.
You are. I'm getting a pair of espadrilles.
I'm getting so much Amazon. Like things that I cannot get here in Mexico, I'm getting Amazon delivered to the hotel.
Yep.
Like clothes and face cream. I'm getting some Doc Marten boots. I'm very excited about all that.
Yeah. So, you guys are right, Doc Martens. I'll be wearing.
I'm getting my Doc Martens.
I'll get to wear some long pants and long sleeves while I'm there.
And are you getting any Apple products? Are you getting?
Not there.
Not there. Okay.
No. So I'm going to place my order to have them delivered here when we come back. So.
Okay. We're going to be an Apple family again. Like things were meant to be. I'm wondering if anybody's investing in the stock market if it tanks tomorrow. Like if the stock market, we wake up and it all tanks. Are you buying anything?
Bitcoin is going crazy.
Invest in some new Bitcoin.
Yeah, I might pick up a little more
one day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that's pretty much what's going on with us. We're like.
Oh yeah. So I'm ordering an iPhone.
Yes. The iPhone 12 Max.
Pro Max. 12 Pro Max, yeah.
The iPhone 12 Pro Max.
And
it's got like 32,000 cameras on it.
I need that. And getting an iPad.
And a new iPad so you can FaceTime.
Either an iPad Air or an iPad Pro. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's been out of the Apple family for far too long with his Android.
I have an Apple phone. I mean, I don't use it. But I have one.
No, you've been using an Android.
I've been using a very nice Nokia.
Whatevs. All I know is when my phone works when his doesn't. My Apple's awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I am undecided about getting an Apple Watch.
Oh, are you thinking about an Apple Watch?
Think about it.
For what are the benefits are you looking for with an Apple Watch?
Kind of cool. I want to do the thing where I can talk to you with the thing.
It's so cool with my Apple Watch. I can just be riding my bike and just go, call Andy.
Oh, no. Is it going to call me right now?
It's going to try.
Uh-oh.
Let me stop it. And it'll just call Andy, and then I can talk to him right on the watch. So I'm like, I tested it. So I was like, if I ever get pulled over by the cops on my bike, all I have to do is, hey, Siri, call Andy. And then don't. And then I have him on the phone just like that.
So
it's a safety feature.
But
it has a fall down feature. If I fall down, if the watch it has a sensor that if I were to fall off my bike or something, Andy would be notified right away as my emergency contact.
Fall down, go boom. Go boom.
It has a fall down feature, and sometimes I fall down. So that's why I wear a helmet. People here make fun of me for wearing a helmet on my bike, but you know what? There's holes in the sidewalk and stuff. And there's taxi drivers, and they're crazy.
They're just trying to get places. And you're in the way.
They're crazy. It only takes one taxi driver to just T-bone you, and then it's like, life as we know it is over.
Yes. I'm undecided about the Apple Watch as to whether I'm going to get one that's like, if I get one, will I just get get an aluminum one like yours, or we're going to get a stainless steel one? And then I was like, if I get a stainless steel one, it's like $300 more. But I like the way those look better. And it also has an upgraded glass on them. But yours looks perfect.
Yeah. I always worry about mine. Like I spray insect repellent. Like I spray off on me, and I'm like, oh my god, is this gonna ruin my glass? But no,
it hasn't been an issue. So I don't know.
No, it's perfect and wonderful in every way, and I love it. The thing I love about it is it will track my open water swims.
Yeah.
So it'll GPS. I'll have a map of my swim, and it'll tell me my strokes and my time and everything. I love that.
I don't do any of that stuff.
We know. It'll tell you when you get your ass up out of that chair.
Get up out of your chair.
So 12 times a day, it wants me to stand up and go do something.
Right. So it'll tell me to do that.
It'll tell you, and it'll tell you when to breathe. So if you need to meditate, and like all that.
I've been meditating off and on. I need to get better about the practice.
But it helps you with
that's the book I've been listening to. Is about the what is it called? It's about meditation and habits. It's about meditation and addiction is what it is.
Okay.
And
how to be addicted to meditating?
No, it talks about how to overcome addiction using meditation, but they're not just talking about addiction to cigarettes or alcohol or drugs, but also addiction to like Facebook or addiction to
all of it.
Like procrastinating, addiction to daydreaming, addictions to all these other things that we use to soothe ourselves, which are lots of them. Food, love, all of these things.
Naps.
Maybe naps.
I think I'm addicted to naps.
And it talks about what the psychological, right, psychological components and how they all string together, so that you can learn through meditation how to break the cycles, how to break the progression into re-engaging in the behaviors that you're addicted to. So, I don't know. It's been interesting.
I don't know. That's a whole other topic. You should put that in Slack.
I'll put it in Slack.
Put it in Slack. You know what else is? What it's going to be when we live stream next Tuesday? We will just be back. We'll be back Monday night, late Monday night. So we'll just be back next Tuesday from Dallas.
We'll have a great report.
We will. Maybe some photos.
Yeah.
Maybe some photos
I'll have to
from
hold them
Dallas.
up like this, but that's okay. I'll have photos.
Why you can't do the thing? Why are you not doing them on the thingy booper?
Because I don't have my button pusher over here. Yeah, I don't have my switcher over here. I guess I could try to, but I can barely see the writing on that screen right now with my contacts. I wouldn't be able to even see with my glasses, to be honest with you.
Oh, you should get that eye surgery.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking about that too. So much.
There's so much to do. So much to do, so much to be, so much take in the back street. What is that song? I haven't heard it in a long time.
So
you never know if you don't go.
Yeah. You
never shine if you don't
glow.
Hey now, you're a rock star. Get your stole on, get paid. All right, that's enough of us.
All right, so
we got to go.
I don't think anybody found us, babe, but that's okay.
No, that's okay. We'll put it on the YouTubes.
Yeah, I'll put it on the YouTubes and we'll make that happen.
Bye.
Okay, well, until next time.
It's been nice seeing you, and until next time, stay okay.